I sat there, staring at her, as if she were an alien life form. My mind was still processing what she had just said over dinner. She waited until the freshly baked apple pie had been cut, and then, with no warning, she hit me with it. "I need to get straight to the point," she began. "The kids are gone. I've been a good wife, mother, and homemaker for the past 24 years, putting you, the kids, and the house first. But now, I need to do something for myself. I'm 45, and I'm still in decent shape. I have to do this while I still can. I love you, and you know that. But this is something I've wanted to do for almost 15 years, and I've come to terms with the fact that you won't be part of it. I hate to see 24 years of good memories go to waste, but if a divorce is what it comes to, I'll deal with it. I've got a date Friday night, so unless you're planning to eat leftovers, you'll have to get dinner elsewhere." I sat there in stunned silence, my gaze fixed on her. After a moment, she broke the quiet. "Say something, Rob." I shrugged and muttered, "Good luck." "Good luck? What do you mean by that?" I looked her squarely in the eyes. "Good luck with your new life. As for me, I don't want you in my bedroom anymore. Pack your things and get out tonight. We'll share the house until it's sold. I'll call the realtor in the morning and start the process. But just so you know, even though we'll still live under the same roof, if you bring your lovers here, I might just kill you both." "Sell the house," she said, her voice strained. "I don't want to sell it," I replied firmly. "I love this place." "Then you'll have to come up with the money to buy me out. When we divorce, the property will be divided. The house will be sold, and with 2 years left on the mortgage, we have around $280,000 in equity. So, you'll need to come up with $140,000 to buy me out. Think about it as you leave the bedroom. I want to get to bed early. I've got a busy day ahead. I'll be calling a realtor and hiring a lawyer first thing." "Why the rush?" she asked, clearly irritated. "Why not?" I shot back. "You just ended our marriage. No point in dragging it out. Let's get it over with." "But I haven't done anything yet," she protested. "It doesn't matter," I said. "The way you're acting, the way you're already planning your next steps, tells me everything I need to know. Whether you sleep with someone else this weekend or not, we're done. Start moving your things out. Anything left in the bedroom by the time I go to bed will be thrown out the window." I stood up, heading for the garage. My personal space, the one place I could clear my head. I worked on my latest project, a 1965 Pontiac Catalina convertible. As I turned a wrench, memories flooded my mind. It had all started 15 years ago, long before Amanda and I had become a couple. Back in high school, I had been a troublemaker. Pauline French had taken my virginity on my 18th birthday, and it became an addiction. I slept with several girls after that, never looking for anything serious, just a fling. College only amplified this behavior, but 2 girls I had casually slept with decided to take it upon themselves to correct me. They launched a campaign to warn other girls about my habits, and by senior year, I found myself completely alone, unable to get a date. It was during this time that I met Amanda Martin. I fell head over heels in love with her, but she wanted nothing to do with me. "I know what kind of guy you are," she told me. "You're just looking for a notch on your bedpost." Despite my persistence, she pushed me away, even threatening to get a restraining order. That was the wake-up call I needed. I realized that my behavior had cost me something precious. Real love. I spent the rest of my senior year alone, watching as Amanda moved on with her life. After graduation, I worked for Athena Group in their marketing department. I was still the same guy, good-looking and in decent shape, so naturally, I attracted attention. But I had changed. I realized that if I ever wanted a serious relationship with someone like Amanda, I needed to grow up. Over time, I did just that. A year passed, and I dated a lot, but no one made me feel the way Amanda did. Then one night, I stopped by the Purple Onion, a bar I frequented. Susie, the bartender, had already placed my usual drink on the counter. As I sat there, I overheard a commotion. A man was harassing a woman, refusing to let her go. It pissed me off. I stood up, walked over to him, and told him to leave. When he refused, he swung at me. I blocked his punch and hit him hard, twice more, before throwing him into a dumpster. I didn't return to the bar for 3 days, but when I did, Susie handed me an envelope. "The lady you helped the other night wanted to thank you," she said. Inside was a note from Amanda, asking me to meet her. Shocked, I agreed, and what followed was a whirlwind romance that led to a marriage proposal 6 months later. She said yes. We had a beautiful life together, with 2 children, Jason and Amber, and after 5 years of marriage, Amanda asked a question that struck fear in my heart. "Do you love me?" Of course I did, but she had something else on her mind. "I've always wondered what it's like," she said. "What sex with someone else is like." She wasn't asking for an affair. She wanted an experience, just once, to satisfy her curiosity. "I'm not doing that," I told her firmly. "If you want to sleep with someone else, we'll get a divorce. But not while we're married." She was persistent, bringing it up again at parties, after drinking, always testing the waters. And it wasn't long before I realized there was something deeper going on. The signs were all there. She was still in contact with her old friend Sally, who was part of a swingers group. Amanda was subtly trying to push me into this lifestyle. The day of her 39th birthday, she asked me again. This time, I had enough. "If you want to sleep with another man, we'll get a divorce," I told her. "Otherwise, stop asking me." It wasn't until a few days later that the full weight of her actions hit me. I filed for divorce and put the house on the market. When Amanda came home and saw the ad for the house sale, it was clear that she didn't understand the magnitude of what she had started. The papers came the next day, handed to her at work. She was furious. "I had to do it," I explained. "This is the reality now. If you want to sleep with someone else, you can do it after we're divorced." She stormed home that night, furious, but I stood my ground. The divorce papers were signed, and now, Amanda was free to do as she wished. "Where are you going?" Amanda's voice followed me. "I'm going to the bar," I muttered, not looking back. "I'm going to have a few beers, play some pool, and start my new life as a bachelor." "We need to talk, Rob." "No, we don't," I said, cutting her off. "You said everything you needed to when you looked me in the eye and told me you were going to cheat. You said if I didn't like it, I could file for divorce. Well, Amanda, I didn't like it. So I filed for divorce." I left the house without another word and headed straight to Bud's bar. I drank until 11:30, played some pool, and tried to forget everything that had happened. When I got home, Amanda was already in bed. I didn't know if she was dressed for a date or had just left work, but I didn't care. The next day, after work, I stopped by the village inn for dinner. When I got home at 7, I was surprised to see Amanda's car in the garage. I assumed she must have changed after work, and her date was probably waiting for her in the driveway. Whoever the guy was, he must have had balls the size of basketballs, showing up when he knew I could be there. I walked into the house, and sure enough, there she was, sitting at the kitchen table, wine glass in hand. The sarcasm in my voice was impossible to hide. "So, the date's over, huh? All set?" I asked. She shook her head, her voice barely above a whisper. "There was no date. There never was. I made the whole thing up." I stared at her, not sure if I should believe her. "That's great. Like I'm going to believe that." "I've wanted to do this for so long, Rob," she admitted, her voice cracking. I felt like if it was going to happen, it had to be now, before I lost my looks. "Sally told me I should just tell you and that you wouldn't want to lose me. You'd go along with it." "Sally?" I shot back. "You've got to be kidding me. I told you a long time ago to stay away from her," I continued. "But you didn't listen, did you? You listened to her instead." "It's not funny, Rob," Amanda snapped. "This has gotten out of control. You need to call the realtor and take the house off the market. Call your lawyer and stop this divorce nonsense." Why would I do that? I asked, staring at her coldly. You made your choice, Amanda. You gave me an ultimatum, and I took it. I filed for divorce. I turned to leave, but as I did, a small part of me still wanted to rush back and comfort her. But that was before everything had changed.